Hey there, welcome to my new art journal. So I recently started my new art journal, and I thought that I would show you the few pages that I've done so far and then take you on a little journey to make a new page. I'm going to try something a little different. So we'll get to that later, but first I'll just show you what I've done so far. So I do think that this journal will in the end up becoming sort of like the other ones that I've flipped through, which are like partially art, mostly scrapbook. I do see that happening in the future, but for now, I'm kind of just using it as a place that I can have fun. So this is a Artist Loft sketchbook from Michaels. They were on sale. This sticker, as well as this one I got from Redbubble, and this one is from Super Yaki, which is a really cool clothing and accessory company that I will definitely link below. So this is what I've done so far. It's not too much yet, but I really like it. So I've just been kind of like using all the pieces that I don't know where I would use them otherwise and kind of just having fun with it. I put the year down here, 2021. What was funny was while I was finding the numbers for this year, I realized that I have saved so many letters, but I don't have many numbers. So that's like a new goal for me, is to start saving more numbers. Just says hey. And this cat I've had forever and I've never known what to do with it. So there you go. And then this is from like a really old gourmet magazine from the 80s or something. Here's these next two pages. I really like this. This was in an ad for, I think, Absolute Vodka or something like that, but I guess it might be a train station in Paris. There was like a staircase here going down, but I just think that's so pretty. So I kind of just put some background pieces together to really make that the focal point. And then this page, I actually posted this on Instagram the other day. I X-Acto knife cut out the picture that was in the frame and put this like constellation paper from an old children's book about astronomy. And then I didn't know what to do. Like, I didn't want to do something like this where the whole page is filled in. I feel like that's all I ever do. So I tried to experiment, and I just kind of swatched a few little pieces. So like this is some Basquiat art, I believe. This might be as well, but this was just like a pattern from something. This was from some type of background. This is another piece of art. This was from someone's shirt, and this is like a stove. And then there's obviously a fork. I don't know. I'm trying to like mess around and just kind of give myself a little more freedom in here. It was fun to put together. And then this is the last page. I just recently went to a Goodwill to find some books and magazines to see if they had anything to use. There was a sale for St. Patrick's Day. So I found a book about cathedrals, and a couple of these I had already. So I really love using those type of structures. So I put this together too. I think it turned out pretty cool. Again, it's like I'm kind of doing this with a lot less strictness and order than I usually do. Just kind of putting stuff together, using it as like practice sort of. So I kind of like how that turned out. And that's it so far. So just those few pages, 5 pages so far. And I want to make something new. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go grab one of my collage bins, and I'm probably going to switch to Voiceover. And what I'm going to do is pick like 4 or 5 scraps and then make a collage using only those 4 or 5 scraps. I'm going to like challenge myself. I think it'll be fun. I hope you stay tuned. I'm going to, again, I said switch to Voiceover. So see you soon. All right. So we have switched to Voiceover, and I am going to show you what I came up with for this collage. So I originally told you I was going to pick 4 or 5 pieces, right? So here's what happened. I picked these 3 pieces that I just showed you and promptly used 1 out of the 3 and changed the others. So, you know, sometimes you got to go with the flow. This is a page from, I believe, a gourmet magazine. Shout out to whoever donated like every issue of Gourmet magazine from the 80s and early 90s to my library last year or the year before. I took all of them and it has changed my world, because I don't think my collage game would be what it was if I hadn't had that resource. I went through them 3-4 times before I recycled them. Absolutely life-changing. So shout out to that stranger. So here I just did like 1 cut to get a little bit closer to the figures of the horseback riders and to the mountain. And then now I'm doing a closer cut so I can really, really get into the details. You would probably see a lot of collage artists use an X-Acto knife for this type of thing. I personally do not trust my X-Acto knife skills yet. And because every piece you have is one of a kind when you collage in this way with found items, it's always such a risk to ruin something. So for me, I like to use scissors for the most part, and then X-Acto knives for like small details. Oh, there's my head, sorry. So I started with that first mountain range, but then I decided to go with this one instead because I thought the shadowing of that first one just didn't really work, and the horse riders weren't popping the way that I wanted them to. I also like the contrast of this like super snowy mountain with the really green, lush hill that they're riding on. The mountain ranges are actually from some of those like free calendars that they send you in the mail sometimes. And usually I think most people throw them away, or maybe you use them like in your office or something. But they had a little stack of them at Goodwill when I was there the other day, so I just literally grabbed all the ones with nature images. That's always a really good way to find like good stuff that I like to layer with. I think I've probably talked about this before, but mountain ranges are my favorite thing to collage lately. I just love it. I love like cutting right to the edge like I'm about to do here. And then I love to layer mountain ranges with other mountain ranges and like canyons. The Grand Canyon is great. Oh gosh, I just love it. I'm probably literally going to finish this voiceover and then go do another one. It's so much fun. So yeah, so I thought this one popped a little more, and even just that, I was tempted to just leave it like that, but then I wanted to keep going a little bit. So at first I wanted to add that like classic church type structure. As you see, I'm like trying to make it work, but it just didn't quite work because of the way the peak of that mountain is. But I wanted to add some type of contrasting background, so I ended up going with a city skyline. This is from a book of photos of Sydney that I got at the same thrift store this week. And there was a good skyline on the back of this page. You'll see me. I'm trying to make it work, but that mountain peak was kind of making it difficult. But this worked pretty well. I don't know if I love the way that I cut the skyline. You'll see in a minute, but I think it works. You know, this art journal really is just for me to have fun, for me to practice, for me to just like, when I need somewhere to go to just like glue stuff down to make my brain feel better. That's what this journal is for. So I don't mind if it's like not totally perfect. That's not a big deal. So yeah, we start with that, and then I'm just making sure everything is adhered. The stickies that I'm using, I call them stickies, but they're actually called photo splits or photo squares. They are my favorite thing to use. I'm just kind of addicted to them now. Like I can't see myself using anything else. I've had some like bad experiences with glue because of the types of paper that I use, and a lot of them are older. It's just like such a risk that the glue you're using is going to make it buckle or something. And I'm always so like cautious of that I'd rather just use these photo splits. I go through them like wildfire, but I really do love them. They work for pretty much everything. I use them in my zines. I use them in my collaging. So there's that next layer. I did cut that left side kind of crooked, you see there, which I did not love, but I will fix that with the paper cutter at the end. So yeah, so the next and last layer I wanted to add was a colorful sky. I just thought it would be a nice pop of color. I like that lighter side better, yeah. So I just wanted one last like pop of color that was not a color otherwise in the piece yet. So I found this nice sunset sky, which was actually from one of those calendars as well. So yeah, so I'm just adding this last layer. What else can I talk about? I'll link the stickies below, the adhesives that I'm using. These are Recollections brand from Michaels. It's like Michaels brand, but I do also really like Scotch makes a version of them as well that I really enjoy. The most important thing is just to make sure they say permanent. They do have ones that are repositionable, which is more for a scrapbooking type thing. That's like my worst nightmare, and that's why one of my art journals is like so screwed up and everything's falling out, is because I was using the repositionable ones. So yeah, permanent only. So now I'm just using the swing line paper cutter that I love very much, and that is going to help me trim this last bit, and that will be the story. I did kind of like this strangely shaped rectangle. I wasn't really too worried about the shape or anything. I just wanted it to fit within the book. That was all I was thinking about. I also really like the way it's going to look next to this cathedral page. You know, I'm not super stressing about what these layouts look like, but I am really happy with that. So yeah, what else can I tell you about while I glue this down? I hope that you have been enjoying watching some of my videos. If you've been here for a little bit now, I've been working on the Marvel stuff as well as just some art journaling and collaging. Definitely going to do more collage like this. Comment below. Make sure to like the video if you enjoy it. Collaging is my favorite thing in the entire world. So that's the finished product. I hope you enjoyed it, and see you next time.